Hello, my name is Anonymous. I'm a reporter at a major newspaper, and I am here to tell you the story of the Secret Society of Vampire Hunters. The story started a few weeks ago, when I received an email from someone who wished to remain anonymous. He told me that he was part of an ancient order tasked with hunting vampires. According to this man, whose name we'll call Alex, vampires are real, and they live among us. He said that there were two main types of vampires: blood drinkers and soul drinkers. Blood drinkers, as their name suggests, feed on the blood of the living, while soul drinkers prey on people's souls. While both types of vampires look and behave like humans during the day, they turn into monsters at night. This is when they drink the blood or devour the souls of sleeping mortals. Alex claimed that there are two main vampire lairs in our city, one near the old train tracks and another at the edge of town by the river. As proof of their existence, he sent me a series of photographs, all taken in the dead of night. The pictures showed shadowy figures lurking around the lair locations. While it was impossible to make out any details, the images were intriguing nonetheless. Determined to get to the bottom of this, I decided to stake out the locations myself. The first lair was easy enough to find. It's an abandoned house near the old train tracks. For a week now, I've been sleeping in the car across the street, taking turns with my photographer friend Ben. We're both on edge, ready to capture anything that moves around the house. But so far, nothing has happened. Not a single sign of life, let alone a shadowy vampire. Tonight, however, is different. Just after midnight, I hear a noise coming from the house. It sounds like footsteps, but they're heavy and slow, like someone walking in a dream. Then I see it. A dark figure emerges from the front door. It's tall and thin, almost skeletal in appearance. Its skin is pale, almost translucent. It moves stiffly, like it's drunk. Then it stops. It seems to sense something, or maybe it just sees me. Either way, it disappears back into the house as quickly as it came out. I don't know what to do. I want to follow it, but I'm afraid. What if it attacks me? Just then, Ben wakes up in the car next to me and asks what's going on. I tell him what I saw, and we decide to follow the vampire together. It takes us several minutes to creep up on the house, but eventually we get close enough to see it standing on the porch. It looks back at us for a moment, then darts off down the street. We chase after it, running as fast as we can, but the vampire is too quick for us. It disappears into the darkness and we lose it. Disappointed but not deterred, I go back home to wait for nightfall. The next day, I visit the second supposed lair, an abandoned shack on the outskirts of town. Again, I set up camp in my car and wait. Just after midnight, I see a dark shape emerge from the shack. It's humanoid, but somehow distorted, like a funhouse mirror image. Two red eyes glow in the darkness and sharp fangs protrude from its mouth. It looks at me for a moment and then lunges. I scream and run as fast as I can, but the vampire is quick. It closes the distance between us in no time and reaches out with long, sharp claws. I can feel the wind snatching my breath away as it swipes at my face. Adrenaline pumping, I dodge out of the way and keep running. I don't dare look back to see if it's following me, but I can hear its heavy footsteps pounding on the ground behind me. I run until I reach the safety of my car and lock myself inside. Shaking, I call Alex to ask if he can explain what's going on. He tells me that the creatures I saw aren't vampires, at least not the kind he's looking for. Instead, they're lesser evils that have been unleashed because someone disturbed the soil where they're buried. He says that these creatures are drawn to negative emotions such as fear, which is why they attacked me when they saw me. Alex agrees to meet me at the shack the following night, so we can search for vampires together. I agree, though I'm still shaken by what I saw the previous night. When Alex arrived, he brought with him an arsenal of weapons and tools that seemed straight out of a horror movie. There were wooden stakes, silver knives, holy water, garlic, and even a crossbow. I didn't know whether to be impressed or terrified. We split up to cover more ground and agreed to meet back at the shack if we saw anything. Alex disappeared into the darkness, and I continued on, my flashlight cutting through the gloom.
Ow.
I was about to give up hope when I saw it. Standing in the middle of a clearing was a tall, elegant woman. Her skin was pale and her eyes glowed red in the darkness. She turned and smiled at me, revealing sharp fangs. Before I could react, she lunged. I screamed and backed away, tripping over a tree root. The vampire closed in, its eyes gleaming with hunger. Then suddenly, a stake shot out from the bushes and knocked the vampire out. Before I could recover from my shock, Alex was on top of the creature, holding a silver knife to its throat. He had staked other vampires too, and soon they were all lying still on the ground. Afterwards, Alex explained that these particular vampires are known as Strigoi. They're evil spirits that possess the bodies of sleeping humans, turning them into blood-drinking monsters. To kill them, Alex said, we need to drive a silver stake through their hearts and cut their heads off. Then we have to burn their bodies in a special fire to prevent their souls from returning. As the sun began to rise, we gathered the stakes and knives we had used and prepared to finish the job. But then something strange happened. One of the vampires stirred. It sat up and looked at us with glowing red eyes. Then it lunged. This went on for hours. Every time we finished with one vampire, another would wake up and attack us. Eventually, we were exhausted and wounded. I had lost track of how many vampires we had killed and staked, but it seemed like no matter how many we destroyed, more kept rising. Then, right as I was about to give up, Alex came up with a plan. He told me to distract the vampires, while he went to the center of the clearing and dug a big hole. Once the hole was deep enough, he had me lead the remaining vampires toward it. One by one, I lured them into the pit we had dug. Then as Alex covered it over, I helped him stab and decapitate them. By the time the sun rose, all the vampires were dead and buried. As the light grew stronger, I felt the strength draining out of me. I collapsed to my knees and blacked out. When I woke up, I was in a hospital bed. A doctor was standing over me looking concerned. Apparently I had passed out from exhaustion and a few scratches. I must have been delirious, because I started talking about vampires. The doctor looked at me as if I were crazy. Then he left the room. Soon after, Alex appeared at my bedside. He told me that the doctor didn't believe my story, which wasn't surprising. I still couldn't believe it myself. Was it all just a dream? Alex said that there was one last thing he needed to show me. He took me outside and led me to a secluded spot in the hospital grounds. There, hidden among the trees, was a small cottage. He told me that this was where he and the other vampire hunters lived, and he invited me to stay there with them. But I couldn't accept his offer. I had to tell someone about what I had seen. So I thanked him for everything and went back to the city. I contacted my newspaper and told them about my discovery. At first they didn't believe me, but when I showed them the photographs I had taken, they agreed to run the story. To this day, I still keep in touch with Alex and the others. And every now and again, we team up to take down another vampire. It's a dangerous job, but someone's got to do it, and that's the end of the story. Thank you for listening.